picture yourself slipping through the battered double doors of the Pantheon, that stubborn little playhouse crouched beneath the Limehouse railway arches. You taste coal dust in the air. You feel the wartime blackout curtains brushing your shoulder. And at once, you know this rehearsal is going to run on pure nerves and cigarette smoke. You hear it, don't you? The piano hammering a jaunty melody that tries too hard to sound cheerful. You see the ghost light glowing center stage like a single, vigilant eye. And right beside it stands Chief Inspector Alleyn, suavely observant in his trench coat, invited by the producer to check the safety of a few props. Wartime London has a habit of turning theatres into crime scenes, and, as you'll discover tonight, the Pantheon is ready to join the roster. The cast is already sparring for position. Rosalind Dawn, Ros to her friends when she still had them, glides across the scuffed boards in a crimson bias-cut dress that throws off sparks beneath the footlights. She greets you with an upturned chin and a voice polished by elocution lessons. "Darling, welcome to our cheerful madhouse." Across the stage, Tommy Packer, comic relief with a grin too eager, fires off mock salute after mock salute. "We're ready for anything, even the Luftwaffe," he says, then stumbles over a coil of cables because he's watching Ros instead of his feet. You notice small clusters of actors swapping gossip like black market cigarettes. The war has compressed friendships, rivalries, and love affairs into an overheated tangle. Stage manager Millie Broom, pencil clamped between her teeth, waves the cast to places. Alleyn stands to one side, expression mild, but eyes sharp. His presence settles over the company like fresh paint, promising to reveal every hairline crack. Millie's voice rings out. "Final run-through. Make it sing, loves." The overture blares from an ancient gramophone, soldiers chorus with a swing beat, and suddenly the stage brightens. You lean forward as Ros sweeps into her first line. "Why, Captain," she purrs, "I thought the war had taught you punctuality." Her co-star, Lionel Trent, answers with rakish bravado, but there's a tremor under the swagger. Lionel has heard rumours that tonight's prop inspection is more than routine. Could someone really have switched the blank cartridges in the stage revolver? He darts a glance at Alleyn, who merely smiles, a smile that seems to say, "Carry on, but I'm counting the heartbeats." Act 1 hurtles ahead. Scenery rattles, offstage crew hiss cues, and the house whispering around you feels alive. Yet tension keeps nibbling at the edges. Twice, an overhead lamp flickers ominously. Each flicker wins a raised eyebrow from Alleyn. Then comes the fateful moment. Ros is supposed to snatch the revolver from Lionel, deliver her rebellious line, and fire a harmless blank at a dummy target upstage. Millie hands Lionel the gun. Alleyn observes from 6 paces, arms loosely folded. The play grinds into that crucial beat. Ros grabs the revolver, spins, and levels it. For half a second, her eyes glitter with showgirl daring under the Limehouse lights. You expect the crack of a blank, a puff of smoke. Instead, you hear a brutal, unmistakable bang that ricochets round the rafters. Ros jolts as if lifted by invisible wires, staggers and collapses. A rose blooms darkly across her dress, far too convincing for make-believe. For a heartbeat, the company freezes. You can almost hear time clicking like a film reel slipped loose. Then panic erupts. Millie screams for the curtain. Lionel drops to his knees beside Ros, and Alleyn strides forward, voice low but commanding. "Everyone stay exactly where you are." Your pulse jumps. You're in the thick of it now, not merely an observer, but a witness. Alleyn kneels, checks pulse, and shakes his head once. The verdict is final. The star of the revival has taken her last bow. As stage lamps dim, an air raid siren starts somewhere outside, uncanny punctuation to the tragedy. The cast huddles under Alleyn's calm direction. He instructs Millie to lock the backstage doors and summon uniformed police, and then he addresses the troupe with surprising gentleness. We'll get to the bottom of this. Until then, speak only the truth. The theatre hears lies far too often. That's how the investigation begins, under rattling arches, with dust from passing trains drifting down like grey confetti. You can almost taste shock on every breath. Alleyn asks each actor to wait in the faded green room, where cracked mirrors still remember the laughter of pre-war stars. You follow him, listening, learning. First to speak is Lionel Trent, eyes rimmed red. He swears he inspected the gun before the scene. Millie loaded the blanks herself, he says. Alleyn nods, but files away the minor fact that Lionel adores melodrama off stage just as much as on. Next comes Tommy Packer, ringing his cap. Roz was too good for the lot of us, he mutters. Yet Alleyn uncovers that Tommy once proposed to Roz and was turned down with an iciness fit for the Arctic. As you note the detail, you wonder, could rejected love curdle into murder? The girls from wardrobe produce a folded sheet of pale blue stationery they found in Roz's pocket. A love letter, they whisper, probably from an admirer in uniform. Alleyn slides the page into a protective sleeve. You catch glimpses of looping handwriting, the ink bleary where tears, or perhaps stage sweat, smudge the margins. Certain words leap out: harbour, signal, midnight. It doesn't read like ordinary romance, it reads like code. With company spirits fraying, Alleyn proposes a risky strategy. The show is scheduled to open tomorrow night, he says. I want it to proceed. A murderer who believes the curtain will still rise may reveal himself. Gasps ripple, yet you feel a grim logic. Theatre people expose their souls under lights. Perhaps a killer will too. By dusk, the Pantheon sits shrouded in silence, and you slip home with the clang of Alleyn's questions echoing in your thoughts. Sleep is a scrap ration thin these days, and you spend the night turning Roz's final expression over in your mind, that sharp spark of fear or revelation just before the shot. What had she seen? Next evening, you're back among the smell of grease paint mixed with sandbags. The marquee's bulbs cast sickly halos, but the queue outside is eager. Wartime London craves diversion the way a drowning man craves air. Inside, Alleyn stations officers in the flies, the wings, the box office. The revolver, this time loaded with verifiably blank rounds, sits under armed guard. The cast blinker back tears of exhaustion. Still, they powder their noses and step into the lights. They know, as you do, that the show must go on, even when death has stolen the spotlight. The replacement lead, ingenue Ivy Hale, swallows nerves like tonic. Alleyn watches Ivy's every movement because hatred sometimes leaps to the first new star. You watch him watching. When Ivy delivers Roz's signature line, her voice cracks, but the audience forgives. They understand the war has made everyone raw. Halfway through Act 2, a small prop mishap sets Alleyn's instincts alight. A decoy telegram, supposed to read, "Reinforcements arriving at dawn," instead reads, "Harbour lights signal midnight." The same phrasing as the coded love letter. Your heart jumps. Someone has tampered with tonight's script. Ivy's hand trembles as she passes the note to Lionel, and in the wings, you see Tommy Packer freeze, staring at the text as if it brands him. Alleyn signals the duty sergeant. The performance continues, but a different drama unfurls backstage. You slip after Alleyn as he intercepts the props runner, a pimply lad named Alfie, whose pockets bulge with crumpled telegram duplicates. Alfie confesses he received the altered message from Millie Broom not an hour earlier. Millie, flushed and frantic, insists she only handed over what Lionel scrawled during warm-up. Lionel, confronted, claims Tommy begged him to add realism by changing the wording. Tommy retorts that Lionel lies like a rug. The circle tightens until accusations fuse into a single point. Everyone thinks someone else did it. Alleyn pulls the coded love letter from his case. "Harbour light signal midnight," he recites softly. It isn't a line from the play at all. It's a reference to Operation Lime, the government's decoy flotilla sailing tonight. Only someone privy to Home Office chatter could have written it. Eyes swivel to Lionel. His brother, you remember, works in naval intelligence. But eyes also turn to Ivy, whose fiancé is posted at Admiralty. The war folds even love into secrecy. You move with Alleyn to the green room, where he places the revolver on the vanity table and asks everyone to gather. Powder dust drifts like pollen in the overheated air. "I need to recreate last night's events," he says. "We'll run the fatal scene. Same positions, same timing." The cast exchange horrified glances, yet they obey. Theatre discipline is stronger than fear. Alleyn hands Ivy the revolver. You watch her knuckles whiten. Lionel steps into place. Millie calls the cue, and Alleyn counts aloud. 1, 2, 3. On 3, Ivy spins and points the gun upward exactly as Roz had. Alleyn's gaze sweeps the room, studying not Ivy, but everyone else. Tommy flinches. Lionel's eyes flick to Ivy's hands, then to a cracked mirror behind her. Millie bites her lip until it bleeds. The tension sings at a frequency you feel in your teeth. Alleyn lowers his voice. Last night, the gun was loaded long before the scene. Only one person had unobstructed access after the prop check. He reaches for the mirror and shifts it half an inch. You see reflected the table where the gun rested during interval, perfectly visible from the corridor door where Tommy Packer liked to smoke between scenes. Tommy's face blanches. "That's not... I never..." Words kink in his throat. Alleyn unfolds another sheet. A telegram from earlier that day, addressed to Tommy, boasting naval coordinates. The envelope is smudged with stage paint fingerprint, Tommy's shade exactly. "You've been trading secrets for cash," Alleyn states. "Roz found out when she intercepted this love letter meant for your contact. It wasn't love at all, was it? But code. She confronted you, threatened to expose you, and you loaded a live round." Tommy shakes, tries a pathetic dash for the stage door, only to find 2 constables waiting. You feel a wash of cold relief. The company doesn't cheer, exactly. Cheering would feel vulgar. But shoulders lower, breaths release. The revolver, newly innocent, lies silent. With the culprit led away, Alleyn gathers the troop. His tone turns almost paternal. You've endured war, blackout and betrayal, yet the theatre remains a beacon. Keep it shining. Millie wipes her eyes. Ivy clasps Lionel's hand, and even the rusted beams overhead seem to straighten. Curtain time resumes. The audience, blissfully unaware, rises to its feet after the final tableau. Applause rolling like artillery, but cleansing rather than deadly. You stand at the back, heart thudding, and realize the play's closing line, spoken tonight by Ivy with fragile courage, lands differently now. There will be dawn, even after the darkest street. Later, in the hush of the empty house, Alleyn joins you by the ghost light. Funny, he muses. We solve murders with reasoning, yet it's the theatre that teaches people how to face chaos. You nod. The bulb flickers, the arches rumble. But somewhere beyond, morning edges closer. So what lingers as you step into the soot-smeared dawn? Maybe it's the way jealousy can masquerade as devotion, or how a coded letter can expose more than military secrets. Perhaps it's the simple fact that a story, performed, shared, and survived, can knit fractured souls tighter than steel. Keep that with you the next time you hear footlights click on. Listen for the breaths, the pauses, the unrehearsed truths sliding between scripted lines. The theatre always tells two stories, the one in the programme and the one whispered in the wings. Tonight you heard both. And now, as Limehouse wakes under the first thin rays, you know you'll never walk past a ghost light again without asking softly, who's still watching and why?